Hello and welcome to Beyond the Film Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan.
And I'm Tyler.
And we're both passengers for our film today.
You know, when I think about road trips, right, and I think about the American identity, and I think about where we go as human beings, and I think about often how can something so American as the Great American Road Trip be destroyed by a below average horror movie? And we get Passenger.
Wow, destroyed. I guess you have some strong feelings about this one.
I mean, we may as well get right into it, right? So Passenger is the new horror movie directed by Andre Overdahl, who's kind of been around, right? He did the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. He did Troll Hunter. Like he's made some recognizable names, or recognizable films, I should say. And when you think about what we want out of horror today, like I just think of all the great horror we've seen in the last year and a half or so. And I'm like, has horror really turned a new leaf, or are we just getting a bunch of really beyond great horror films? And then you see a film like Passenger, a film that follows a very similar demonic possession formula, but this time on the road, this time with nomads. And you're like, oh yeah, they are still making just very generic horror flair. And you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like what it does okay, but I don't think this movie rises above the cliches that it so clearly just wants to perpetuate the whole time.
I can agree with you, and I'm gonna start out by saying I'm actually a huge fan of like horror slop. I mean, obviously, Jason Takes Manhattan is one of my favorite Friday the 13th movies. I'll be honest, the one of the whole reasons that I actually continued to date my wife was because on our second date we both talked about the movie Stay Alive. I love like 2008 or 2000 slop, just horror slop. Stay Alive. We've got like House on Haunted Hill. You're smiling at me. You're laughing.
So what you're saying is the only reason you stayed with your wife is because of crappy mid 2000s horror
It
films?
was the love for horror. I mean, that's where our love began.
Because I mean, I like Stay Alive. I would say more than the average person, but I mean, like,
not
something I would use to justify a whole relationship is
not as much as me and my wife like it.
That's totally fair. I mean, it's a movie that exists.
But either way, like seeing something like Passenger, it really brought me back to those movies that, like, yes, we get horror slop, but we don't get that certain finesse to it. There was something about the early 2000s that felt shoddy, it felt quick, but it still felt really fun. Like you were getting still really fun, crappy movies. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Like there's just something about it. And I still think Passenger had a lot of good fun to the crappiness. Yes, it's not like a perfect horror movie. I do think there's some really interesting shots that we'll get into for like how it was filmed. And I think one of the the spinning. So I thought about that on my way home. We'll get right into it. Add my section of me recording Tyler after the thing explaining this movie. But when I really thought about it, that actually is something that's been used in one of my favorite movies ever made, Evil Dead. That is such an interesting way to take such a small amount of like scenery and background for like a set, because your set is so limited, and disorient your viewers into thinking that there's a bigger set. If you notice when that happens, you're always confused as to which way is which. I love your dog playing in the background.
God, Friday, go away. I'm the only one home right now, so she wants to be by me. So.
You're always confused as to like which direction is which, and it gives you an uncertainty and it gives you an anxiety deep down where you don't know what's coming because you're so turned around confused. And just when the second that like you get your bearings, they throw a jump scare at you, and that is horror slop to its greatest. I love when movies have that kind of anxiety built into them because I don't get scared from horror movies, but I do get anxiety from jump scares sometimes.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we say that the movie's like full of cliches and like we recognize things that were done in previous horror films, and that just implies that there was a time, it could be back in 1978 when Evil Dead came out, but there was a time where those things were new and refreshing. Like there's a reason why horror films like copy each other, right? There's a reason why we got so much demonic crap in the mid to late 2000s, because Paranormal Activity was a legitimate phenomenon, right? And
Right.
you know, I mean, I don't think that's maybe the strongest example because I don't think that movie is particularly well made. Like I think it just like was more of a victim of marketing than anything else. But
Can I just jump in here?
yeah, sure.
Evil Dead was made in 1981. Do not disrespect Evil Dead.
Where did I get 1978 from?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Halloween or
right.
something?
It is
I don't know.
1981. Okay, yes. I'm sorry. I don't know where I pulled 1978 from. Maybe I was thinking Halloween or something.
I think you're thinking Halloween, yeah.
Anyways, like Passenger very much throws us back to those like mid 2000s horror films that weren't the like like all timers, right? This is very much like the C to C minus horror movie that borrows from a lot of other better horror movies, but still does like a halfway decent job of just being a horror movie you've seen before, right? Like it very much follows the formula like where there is a cold open to explain how the demon works. Then there's an introduction to the characters that's very slow. The music is all nice and frilly to let us know that nothing scary is going to happen for a while, right? Then they start getting involved with it, and eventually there's a build up to what I call the investigation phase, where so much stuff starts to happen that one of the main characters begins to research what this is and how they can stop it, and then they stop it, right? There's so many horror films like that. I basically explained Passenger and maybe like 25 other horror films, right? But you know, I'm watching Passenger, and like, yes, like there are, you know, a bunch of jump scares, but there are some moments where they do Andre Overdahl does a good job of building up to those jump scares. I think the strongest sequence in the film is when the female character, I think her name was Maddie, she's leaving a gym, and her boyfriend is still in there running, and she's leaving the gym to go back to the van, and creepy stuff starts to happen in the parking lot. Obviously, like there's a bunch of the with those, but like I was like pretty much on the edge of my seat the whole time, and even like as the jump scares came, like the tension never went away. It was build up, tension, jump scare, and I'm like, yeah, that can get grating for some, but I mean, like I feel I'm more forgiving of horror films to a certain degree, to just acknowledge that, yeah, this movie isn't trying to be The Conjuring. It's not trying to be Halloween. It's not trying to be Friday the 13th, or, you know, I can't think of some more recent examples. Like, you know, not every horror movie has to be a home run. There's nothing wrong with hitting a single every once in a while, right?
Right.
And this film is very much like the single that you will have fun with for 90 minutes and go home. And yeah, will I ever think about this movie again? Probably not. But I mean, I had a decent amount of fun as I was watching it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that this is like the perfect, I've said it before in our previous shows, there are those movies that were just perfect for those like those sleepover movies is what I call them. That's like you throw on with your friends, you get scared, it's a fun watch, you never watch it again.
You know, actually, you know what this movie would have been? This would have been a movie where they would have designed a hell of a DVD cover. Yep. And you would have walked into like Blockbuster or something and rented it just based off the DVD color or DVD cover. You're like, you know what? Not bad.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And then like you go on later generations would know it as like the $5 bin at Walmart.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a little better than some of those movies that are in the $5 bin.
You
at
get
Walmart,
some good
but
stuff in the $5 bin. Do not
yeah,
knack the $5 bin.
yeah, I guess yeah. It's hard because I did end up giving this movie a very strong review. I wouldn't say I would at the very best say I'm like dead mixed on it, right? Like I wouldn't say mixed positive or mixed negative. I think it's the perfect example of a mixed review.
Yeah,
I think I gave it like a 2.5 out of 5.
I think I did it like a 3, which is solid for a movie like this.
Like I think the right audience could find something to enjoy in this movie. Like I don't think that the demonic villain in the movie is particularly strong. Like I think he's framed well a couple times, and there's the typical horror tricks of the camera that I think can make it kind of fun. I kind of wish that the cold open wasn't spoiled in the trailer.
Yeah.
Because I think that would have been maybe a little bit more effective. Like that whole initial teaser trailer where it's the two guys in the car and the guy's driving and sees the same guy over and over again. That's basically the cold open for the movie.
Yeah.
So, going in, I mean, like they have a unique idea. In fact, I think that could even be a halfway decent short film. And they just expanded on it to, mixed results. Like I don't think any of these actors are gonna I don't think this is going to be a big break for either of those main actors. I don't remember seeing them in anything else. I don't think, I know that Nomad Woman was in something else, and I could not put my finger on it. I will look it up as you respond to what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I going back to what you said about like somebody out there is gonna love this movie. I will actually say my wife loved this movie. My wife was really excited to have me watch this movie. I think I actually hurt my wife's feelings a little bit because I didn't seem to like it as much as she did.
Yeah.
But it's a solid horror movie, and I don't know what else to say besides like this is a movie that you'd see on Sci-Fi Channel and then fall in love with, and somebody somewhere will love it somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So
surprise.
it's Melissa Leo. So she's been around. She was in the like Has Fallen movies. She was in Prisoners, Oblivion, Flight.
Okay, yeah.
Like The Fighter. I think she was she might have been nominated for The Fighter, if memory serves me correct. But yeah, I mean she's been around. She's probably the most recognizable face in there, and even if she's more of a character actor than anything. But
right.
She's the only face I really recognized, and yeah, I mean, if you are just looking for you're not looking to be wowed, but you're looking to have some fun, like that's what Passenger is to
Absolutely.
a T. Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot more to say about it. Do you want to start us off with when should people see this?
Yeah. So I think that this is a quintessential, like, you know what? Wait till it comes out on Blockbuster and go rent it. But obviously that's not a thing anymore. So I think you can wait for video here. I don't think there's anything really rewarding about a theatrical experience to this. I think it's something that isn't gonna, demand you to spend $10 right away to go see it with your friends or whatever. So wait till video. Maybe wait till it comes on a streaming service that you already subscribe to and then watch it. I still think it's worth a watch. Maybe not just drop everything and go watch it.
I fully agree with you. I think that especially at this point we're a little late to Passenger.
Yeah.
Wait for streaming. It's a great watch on streaming. Even if you really like the movie, like purchase it. Support your directors, and definitely watch it. Definitely give it a watch.
Yeah.
Just maybe not rush out, and you generous with the $10. I think movie tickets on non special days are almost $17-18 now. So
no, I don't think they're that much. Yeah,
Marcus is.
I have the
other theaters aren't.
So,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, once again, it's all about like what should you spend your hard-earned money on. I think this maybe is not it, but it's not necessarily an indictment on the movie itself. So I think there's better horror movies even this year that would warrant a movie theater experience over something like Passenger.
Agreed. There's definitely, especially horror. The horror genre has just been shooting bangers every week almost.
It definitely feels like it.
But yeah, I mean, stick with us. I do want to say that we are on a new recording session. This is our first time doing a new setup, so there may be some bugs in the video. I'm noticing some as I look at Tyler, so we've got to look at some video. There might be some sound issues. Sorry for that. It'll, stick with us. It'll keep getting better.
What did you think of Passenger? Let us know down below what your rules are for driving on the road. Would you stop for someone to help someone in need, or would you just keep going like the dickhead nomads that are in this movie? Don't forget to like and subscribe and share our podcast and YouTube channel with your friends and family. That's how we grow, and that's how we can continue to provide all of these fun and zany reviews for you guys.
Support your local unpaid movie podcasters.
If I was doing this for the money, boy, would I be struggling.
See you guys.